Today we are going to be talking all about farmers markets, pop-up events, local events, whatever you want to call them. We're going to be talking about them today. I'm going to be showing you guys my setup as well as just kind of going over some of the things that have made my life so much easier and so much better for markets and things like that. I'll be showing you guys pretty much all of the materials, things that I use for markets and events and stuff like that, all of the things I use to set up and tear down and all that stuff. I'll be telling you where I get it all and stuff like that, just to hopefully make some of your lives a little bit easier. I know several of you have been asking for this video for a while. I'm so sorry it's taken a lot longer than I planned to get this out. I did make a community post a while back. I think I've since deleted it, but I did make a community post a while back about I was making a video of this or whatever, and then that video just didn't work out for various reasons. I didn't have as much time to film as I wanted to and stuff, and I didn't, like, we just, for that event specifically, we were already running behind and stuff like that, and I was a sweaty heaping mess, and like it was just not a good time. And so I did end up scrapping that video, so I do apologize. It's taken a little bit longer to get this video out. I know that we talked about it quite a while ago, and I know a few of you were waiting on that and stuff, so sorry it's taken longer, but here we are. We finally have done it. This isn't quite exactly how I wanted to do it. I wanted to show us actually like setting up the tent, setting up the space and stuff like that, but unfortunately it was too hard. It's too hard to do at markets and events. Like I just always feel like really anxious. I always feel like I'm kind of like behind and stuff like that, even if we have plenty of time and stuff. And I just get really like flustered really easily on days that we have markets. And so it's just not a good time. I don't really want to add more stress to it by trying to set up the camera and make sure I'm getting good shots and stuff like that, and making sure that it's like looking good and not, you know, all that. I just don't want to have to worry about that on market days. So unfortunately we didn't get a video of us like actually setting up, but I do show all of our actual setup and everything like once it's already set up. And before we get to that, I do want to say, like, this isn't exactly how I wanted to do it, but it was so windy that day that, like, all of our stuff kept falling over, all of our signage and stuff like that kept getting blown over, and so we almost lost, like, all of our business cards and thank you cards and stuff like that because it was just super windy, and so we kept having to put everything essentially just in a pile just to hold it down and make sure it wasn't going to blow away. This was before the actual event had started and stuff like that, and so it did look better thankfully once the actual event started and stuff. The wind kind of calmed down and stuff a little bit, but so I do apologize that you're not gonna see like our full, like what it exactly looks like as nice on the back table specifically, because like we have all of our stuff just essentially piled into a pile, trying not to make sure that it blows away and stuff like that. But I will be pulling out most of that stuff and showing it to you guys so you can see what it looks like and stuff like that, and kind of get an idea of how we set up that back table and stuff. But without further ado, let's get to this part of the video. So first up, we have our rotating pegboard, which holds all of our wax melts. It can hold, I think, like 120 wax melts or something like that. It holds a lot. And then next up, this is a shelf that one of our friends built for us. We did get the idea from a company called Vertical Ledge, but they were very expensive to buy, and so we just had a friend who's really good at woodworking and stuff like that, and so he actually built it for us, and the shelves come in different sizes. And then this is a sign that we got from Vistaprint. This is just some of our packing stuff. So we have the thank you bags as well as some wrapping paper. We also have a little sign up sheet for our emails, and obviously, as you can see, everything kept blowing over. And this is a sign that we got from Vistaprint. I designed it myself as well as my beautiful wife. And then this is another shelf that same friend built for us. It is a ladder shelf. All of the shelves come off of it, and like they're not attached or anything. They just come off. And then you can just collapse it down. It makes it super easy to set up and tear down. It's super great and we love it. And then the tables, they came from Target, and our tent came from Quick Tent. It has been a great tent for us. We have loved it. It has been pretty sturdy and stuff for the most part. We haven't had really too many issues with it or anything like that. It's been a pretty great tent. It's pretty easy to set up, especially with 2 people. So yeah, but this is basically our setup and we're happy with it. Real fast, before we get to the next part of this video, it would mean so much if you would give this video a thumbs up so that the algorithm and stuff will continue showing it to other makers and stuff so that they can also find value in it as well. And if you haven't already, it would mean so much to me if you would subscribe to the channel so that we can continue hanging out. So now that you guys have seen our setup and everything, I did want to kind of just go over some of the things that you did see in the video and some things that you didn't see in the video that we used to set up and tear down, and just kind of explain where I got pretty much everything that you see in this video, and maybe even, like I said, some other things that we use to help us set up, tear down, to make our life easier and stuff like that. But everything that I talk about in today's video will be linked down in the description box below. If there is anything that I forget to link or anything like that, just send me a comment or whatever and just let me know, or just ask whatever it is. I'm not purposely trying to hide anything or anything like that. I just sometimes forget to post certain things. So if there's anything that you were wondering about that I didn't post a link to, let me know and I will gladly update that for you. The very first thing that we didn't show in the video, I don't think, but that I know people are going to ask about, is what we use to take card payments, and that is a Shopify card reader. This is really nice, especially if you have a Shopify website, because it automatically connects to your website, and so all of your sales and stuff like that, all the money that you make from that day, automatically go through your website, and so you can keep all your finance stuff all in one place. And I really enjoy that because I don't have to like go in and manually enter that into my website or anything like that. It just automatically does all of that for you through an app or whatever on your phone and stuff, and so it is super nice to have. I highly recommend it. I have never had any issues with it. I think like one time it started to do like an update right in the middle of a market or whatever, like right when someone was trying to check out or whatever, but it literally took like a minute or two. Like it updated super fast and we did not have good service, so I was surprised that it updated so fast. But yeah, and it did the update, and then thankfully the customer was like super understanding and she just waited for a minute or two and then it was done. And yeah, but that's literally the only like issue I've ever had. I've never had issues with it like not connecting or anything like that. It has been a great card reader, so I highly recommend the Shopify card reader, especially if you have a Shopify store. If you don't have a Shopify store, I have heard good things about the Square card readers, and I believe that the reader itself is free, and then they just take obviously like a small percentage of a commission or whatever, which this does too or whatever. It just goes through like your website, like you were making a sale on your website or whatever. And so yeah, I think they do take a small commission or whatever from each one, but pretty much every card reader does that, I think, or whatever. I think it's just kind of the nature of taking card payments and stuff like that. But it's like a really small percentage or whatever. So yeah, I know that Square has one. I can't think of other brands right now that have them, but yeah, if you're looking for an alternate to the Shopify card reader, in case you don't have a Shopify website, I would go with Square. I've used them in the past for my other business or whatever, my photography business in the past, and never had any issues with it or anything like that. So highly recommend them too. The next thing that I highly recommend having at markets and events would be a sign-up sheet for your email list. I get several emails from this or whatever, several signups from this at pretty much every event. I think we got like 6 or 7 at least from this last one. So, I mean, not like a ton or anything, but I also don't like, I really need to like remember to like say something about it more. I just kind of forget most of the time. and I usually don't say anything about it or whatever, but people see it sitting out and they just sign up automatically or whatever. But honestly, even if I said like more often, like, you know, do you want to sign up for emails or whatever, that would probably help. I just forget to sometimes because we're doing so many things at once, you know. But I highly recommend, you know, if you don't have an email list, you definitely should. And it's a great way at markets and events to collect emails and get some return customers. And this sign up sheet I just made in Canva. I'm pretty sure it was like a free template or whatever. So if you just go to canva.com and sign up like for a free subscription, you can just type in the search bar for the templates and stuff. Like I think I typed in like email sign up sheet or something like that or whatever, and they have tons of different options. Some of them are on the premium plan, but there are definitely some free ones too, so just look into that, and then you can customize it however you want. So you can change the look of it and all that stuff. So highly recommend doing that. It's a great tool to have. Then next up, you did see this in the video, but it was laying down because again, the wind was blowing everywhere. But these little acrylic signs or whatever, this is just inside of here. This is just a regular sheet of paper or whatever that I just typed all of our pricing and stuff like that out and our bundle deals and all that stuff. But then you can put it inside of this little acrylic thing, and it has like a little stand on the bottom and stuff. You just take this off to actually get the paper in there and stuff. But it makes your pricing and stuff look a little bit more professional and stuff. And now of course I can't get this back in here. There we go. But it just makes your pricing and stuff like that look a little bit more professional and stuff like that. I just kind of prefer this. I do not have good handwriting and stuff like that, and so you know, the little handwritten signs just don't really work for me, just because I just do not have good pretty handwriting whatsoever. And so I kind of prefer something like this that, you know, is a little easier. I can just type it out and stuff like that. And yeah, it's just a lot easier for my customers to read. But you can get these on Amazon. Like I said, I'll have everything linked down in the description box below. But you can get these on Amazon. I think they come in like a pack of like 3 or 5 or something like that. And we do use pretty much all of them. We use like, I think we have 2 pricing ones like this. And then we have like one for, we have like a QR code that has like our Venmo and stuff like that. So if people want to pay with Venmo, they can just scan that. And then I can't remember what else we have, but yeah, those are the main ones that we use or whatever. I think we have one that goes to our social media, but we honestly rarely even put that one up because no one, usually people just take our business card, which has our social media and stuff, so I just don't worry about it too much. But if you want to have that one, you can. Something else I want to talk about on here is our bundle deals. If you are not doing bundle deals at markets and events, you are missing out on some really good orders. Honestly, like we did so many bundle deals. We ended up selling, I think, 19 of our large candles this past event that we had. And that's just our large candles or whatever. And that was mostly because of our bundle deals. Like almost every single one of those, not every single one, but I think all but like 2 or 3 maybe were from bundle deals, because so basically our bundle deals are, you can get a large candle for $26 or you can get 3 large ones for $70. So they save like $8 there or something like that. And so it's just a lot easier for them, you know, to want to do that, because they're like, oh, well, if I buy more, then I save a little bit more. And it just, you know, does this little thing in your head where you're like, well, if I buy, you know, I'm saving more and stuff like that. And so they purchase more. And so it's a really good way, one, to get them to try out more scents than just one. Because if they pick out a scent and then they like end up not liking it when it's burning or whatever, then like that's the only impression they have of your company or whatever. But if they get a bundle deal, they get all 3 of them, they take them home, they end up not liking one, but then they love the other 2, you know, then they know that you're still, you know, a good company, and they have a better impression of you rather than just, you know, from the one candle that they didn't love. But it also is really nice because it brings in bigger sales and things like that and helps you earn more money the day of. Yes, like obviously it brings your, you know, like the amount that you earn per candle down just a little bit, but it's really not that much. And for what you're making in return, like it's, you know, it just really is not a big deal to, you know, get the bigger, larger sale. And then something else we have at our events is our candle care cards. And on the back, they have a thank you, and there's a little 15% off discount code for the website. So what we do is we put each one of these after someone, you know, orders or buys from us or whatever. We put one of these along with a business card in the bag, and that really encourages people to come back and shop on the website. We get a lot of return customers that way because they, you know, they end up buying something from us in person and then they really like it, and so they go on our website and see other things that they like and stuff like that, and they'll go ahead and buy it or whatever. To be honest, not a lot of them use the discount code. I don't know if they just forget about it or what, but either way, they still come back and buy stuff, so I'm happy. I'm fine with it. I mean, whether they use the discount code or not, I'm happy with it. But the reason I was talking about these is I actually designed these myself, and I'll leave the paper. The paper that we use is just like a paper that we get from Amazon. It tears away into 4 pieces of paper like this. It comes like perforated. It's essentially like postcard paper, I think is what it's called, or something like that. But it comes like a normal size sheet of paper, and then there's like, it tears away into 4 of this size of paper and stuff, and so it's really easy to make your designs and stuff like that, and then you just print it out, and it prints out 4 at a time basically. And so, but you can just print them out at home, which is super nice because we do go through a lot of these. We print them out at home, like I said, and we put them in our online orders as well. So it's just really nice to be able to print them out from home and not have to go through like a expensive printing company or anything like that. And then next up we have our thank you bags. You don't obviously have to get ones that say thank you on it, but you know, I just thought it was a nice little touch. I don't, you know, like I don't love using plastic and stuff like that. I try not to. Sorry, it's very crinkly. But I try not to use plastic when we can, but we were using paper for a while, and when people would get like the bundle deals and stuff like that, when they'd get 3, 4 plus candles, it just would get really heavy, and a lot of the times it would end up ripping the bag out or whatever. And so I just didn't want, thankfully, as far as we know, like none of them ever like fell and broke and shattered or anything like that. Usually they would like break like almost right away, and I would like instantly just give them a second bag or, you know, something like that or whatever, to try and hold it all together and stuff. And they'd usually just put it in like their purse or another bag or something like that. But yeah, that's not a great impression. I don't want to, you know, I don't want to have someone getting home and carrying it in, and then, you know, all the candles fall out and break, and, you know, because then it's just like, well, wasn't a great experience for them and stuff. So I don't love using plastic, but so far I haven't really found an alternative for that, just for that reason and stuff like that. So if you guys have any options that, you know, if there's like a heavier duty paper or something like that that we can use, and that is also a large bag, because like I said, some people do buy 3, 4 plus candles or whatever at a time, and so, you know, it's really hard to put that much weight in a paper bag because it's just gonna rip out at the bottom. So, but if you guys do have any options, please let me know down in the description box below. Or in the comments below. Sorry, not the description box, but down in the comments, and I would love to look at those options. This is the tissue paper that we use for wrapping up our candles and stuff like that. We do like to wrap up the glass jar candles just because of the paint on them. They do scratch off really easily, like the paint scratches really easily. And so we do like to wrap them up just to make sure, especially if they get more than one candle, that they're not like scratching against anything and stuff like that. I just really like, you know, my candles to look nice and stuff, even when they get home to whoever bought them and stuff like that. So we do like to wrap them up in tissue paper for them. You can get this on Amazon. I'll, like I said, leave it down in the description box below. It is a very large piece of tissue paper though, so I actually cut them in half even for our large candles because it's a very long piece of paper. And so it's actually not tissue paper. I'm sorry, I keep saying tissue paper. It's not tissue paper. It's like a thicker, heavier, like some kind of paper. I don't know. I honestly don't know what it's called, but it's just kind of wrapping paper essentially or whatever, that kind of protects your candles and stuff like that. If you have like ones that scratch easily or anything like that, it's just really good to have. And it looks nice for your customers. And then I did want to talk about the tent that we use. It is from Quick Tent. I'll put up a picture somewhere over here on the screen somewhere or whatever, so that you guys can see it or whatever. But it is, it's called Quick Tent, and it has been a pretty great tent for us. We haven't really had any issues with it. The one thing that I love about it is the little like latches on it to actually raise it up and stuff. They're not that super annoying kind that like a lot of tents have that like pinch your fingers or smash your fingers in whenever you try and put it up or take it down. Those things, like, I swear I have like trauma from those things because they always end up smashing my fingers or pinching them or something, and I always get frustrated with them. But these have little latches that you actually push in and stuff like that and can raise up or down, so you don't have to worry about that as much and stuff like that, and it's super nice. I don't have to be worried about that the whole time. But that, and as well as it's just a pretty sturdy tent, like we've not really had any issues with it. I will say our the case that it came in, it did start to rip out and stuff like that. It's been a little over a year since we've had it now, but I did contact them about it, and they actually sent me a whole brand new case completely free of charge, which was super nice. I was actually just contacting them to, like, I was going to see if I could buy one, and I even like mentioned, I was like, I'll be happy to pay for it. I just need a new case because this one's falling apart, and like it just, you know, wasn't a good situation and stuff like that. But they were super nice, and they ended up sending me a whole brand new case and everything. And so I know there is a warranty on the tent. I think it's only like a year or something like that. But I could be wrong. It might be longer than that. I'm not exactly sure. And I'm pretty sure it had passed the year mark since I had bought the tent or whatever, and they still sent me a brand new case, which was super nice of them and stuff like that. So I was really happy with that and everything. Their customer service is really great. I really haven't had any other issues besides the case was a little starting to get torn and stuff like that around the top. But other than that, it's been a great tent. We've really enjoyed having it. It's fairly easy to set up and stuff like that. I will say, like, setting it up with 2 people is going to be way easier than setting it up with 1 person. I thankfully have never had to do it by myself, but I honestly don't know. Like, you definitely can, because one of my friends one time was helping me set it up, and I like went to park the car and I came back and he had already set it up by himself. So if you know what you're doing, you definitely can, I'm pretty sure, set it up by yourself. But it's definitely much easier with 2 people, just so you don't have to like run around the tent constantly, like moving things a little bit here and there at a time or whatever, because, you know, just like with most tents, the legs, if you don't put them all up like at the same time and stuff, they will start to bend and stuff, so you just want to avoid that. So I would recommend having 2 people. You probably could get away with doing it by yourself, but it'll be much quicker if you do it with 2 people. And then the last thing that has probably saved our lives, like more times than I care to admit, is just having this little cart. I'll put a picture of it somewhere on the screen. But we use it for when, because a lot of events, I don't know if you guys are the same, but a lot of the events that we go to, especially like, we don't always get to park right where our event, like our tent setup and space is going to be. We don't a lot of the times get to park right there and like unload first and stuff like that. And so it's super nice to have a cart so that you're not having to like just carry boxes and do 50 different loads and stuff like that of all these heavy boxes of candles and stuff like that. It makes, you know, carrying things just so much easier. It's so much faster and stuff like that to get things over. We can generally get pretty much all of our candles in the cart or whatever. We usually take about 4 boxes, so we usually take 2 of our 2 boxes of our large candles, which is 48 candles, and then 2 boxes of our smaller ones as well. And so we can usually fit all of those plus a few other things in there, and then we just make like a couple trips between back and forth between the car or whatever. But it definitely is not as many trips as we would be doing if we were just carrying it all by hand and stuff like that. So it's super nice to have. Highly recommend it if you don't have a cart or whatever. It literally is a lifesaver. We use it for pretty much every event that we've been to, and it has been so great to have. But I think that is going to be it for today's video. Those are the main things that we use for our events and stuff like that. If there was anything that I forgot to mention or talk about, or that you saw in the video that you wanted to know more about, please let me know in the comments down below, and I would be glad to tell you more about it. All of our signage and stuff like that did come from Vistaprint. That is one thing I just realized that I forgot to mention. But it did come from Vistaprint and stuff like that. So they have usually lots of good deals and stuff like that. So I usually wait till there's a sale or something, and then I'll try and get signs then. But yeah, so most of our signage and stuff that you saw did come from Vistaprint. But other than that, if there's anything else that I forgot to mention or anything like that that you were curious about, please just let me know in the comments below, and I'd be happy to answer that for you. But with that, that is going to be it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. If you guys would like to continue hanging out, there's going to be some other videos that pop up on the screen, and I will see you there.